Is this paper as good as I hope it is? Let's go check it out. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today I am back with another video answering one of your guys' questions. Please keep them coming. I absolutely love making videos that I think are going to be useful based off your guys' questions. So I picked up from the works this Origami super stack of papers. They've got a few different ones, but I picked this one up because this is their Christmas pack, and at the minute they currently have 50% off all of their Christmas craft supplies. So I paid £2.50 for 400 sheets of this beautiful paper. It is quite thin because it is designed for origami. So one of you guys have asked, is this any good working with wet glue? Will it be okay with like your tapes, or are we going to see things through? And I thought rather than answering by typing out a massive message, I would do a video because there may be others with a similar question. So I thought we'd just give them a test out. I'm not going to be making any specific cards or anything with them, but I am going to just get some plain cardstock. I've got a mixture of different adhesives here waiting. So I have my normal liquid glue. This is just a tacky PVA glue that I use, and I've decanted into this smaller bottle. I thought we'd also have a look to see how it reacts to these glue pens. These are some that I picked up from Amazon to make it easier to glue some of the fine detail pieces. I've also got my very trusted ATG down here. Let me grab it and move it out of the way. I've got my ATG to have a look to see how it's going to react to this type of double-sided tape. I've also got an actual roll of double-sided tape that we can have a look at, and what I'm testing more with these is to see if you can see any of this tape through the paper, like is it going to be lifted up or anything. So I figured they're probably the main types of adhesives you guys are going to be using. They're certainly the main ones that I will be using. So let me grab a piece of cardstock and let's get tested. So I've just grabbed, this is just some spare like sample. It's just a bit of plain cardstock. I'm not even sure what GSM this is, to be honest, but we're not bothered about that. We're looking at these papers. So let me just grab a sheet out. I'll just grab this because this is the first one. So it pulls out really nice and easy from the book. Now it doesn't tell me the GSM on here. It is thin. I hope you can hear how thin that is. In terms of the size of the paper itself, oops. So it is just shy of a 6x6. That's it, on top of a 6x6 paper pad. So it's very, very near to a 6x6 piece of paper. So they're a decent size, to be fair to them. I've got 4 different adhesives to try, so I'm just going to cut this into 4. Doesn't need to be precise or very pretty. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So let's start off with our tapes because these are going to be the easiest, I think. So this is just this one's from Team U. So it's nothing fancy. Then we'll do a strip over the middle. Give that a good press down. And we'll see how that looks. So that is with just some normal double-sided tape. I can't see any lumps. Maybe feel a little bit through there, but I can't see any. Don't know whether that's because of the way the pattern is. But that looks pretty good to me. I'm happy using that. I tend to use the double-sided tape anyway. So I would say that definitely on a double-sided tape perspective, that is a win. Let me grab my ATG. So let's see how it works with this. Is a very like it's bending as I'm trying to lift the top off, so the ATG may be a bit too sticky for it, but I have found that with some of the finer papers anyway. Things like some of the ones from the works, they have thinner papers on some of their paper pads, and I've had the same issue with those. To be fair to it, it hasn't ripped anywhere, look. So it hasn't damaged the paper. Stick that down. Again, looks absolutely fine to me. There's no lumps, there's no bumps. It's stuck down nicely. Looks nice, feels nice. So I would say that that was a win as well. Probably easier with the double-sided normal tape that you can cut off, but it's worked absolutely fine. So now let's have a look at this. This is one of the glue pens. I don't think I've opened this one yet. So I picked these up from Amazon. Dispensers, just some like wet glue. I think you can see that because it does come out in the colour that it is. So let's take one of these and see how this reacts. Now, I must admit, I haven't really tested these much, so I don't even know how good these are. So this will be a good test run. I'll pick the thing up now. Oh my goodness. This is me, not the paper. So let's pop that on there like so. Give that a squish. Now, in terms of that glue, you can't really feel it. Definitely can't see it. It doesn't appear to have gone through the paper. There's no wet marks, there's no splotch marks or anything. I can't see any warping of the paper. I'm trying to show you this in lots of different angles, so I can't see any warping of the paper or anything either. So in all honesty, I would say that that one is a win. However, as you saw, it does only dispense a very small amount of glue. So let's try if we're using like a wet glue like this, coming out of one of these. I'll use this in a couple of days. So let's just pull out that bit. And let's see how it reacts with this. So far we're 3 for 3. I'm very impressed with them. And I'm putting plenty on here to really test this paper out. Let's see how the really thick, proper wet glue reacts to this. Now it doesn't feel wet. I did accidentally squeeze some glue out the side, so there is some wetness there, but that isn't, it's not come through the paper, it's just come out the side. You can definitely feel the wet glue underneath that, however. You couldn't, the pen, that one, there's definitely some texture there. So I would say if you are going for non-texture, you are better off using either the tape or like those glue pens. I can see a bit of the texture. Not a huge amount, I must admit, but I can definitely see some little lumps and bumps where there's just extra glue. Doesn't feel wet, and it doesn't look wet, and there isn't any warping. I can just see some texture. I know where I've gone, so I've gone that way up with my squiggles because I can feel them. So yeah, I would say double-sided tape, absolutely fine. ATG, absolutely fine. The glue pens, where it puts a very small amount of glue on, absolutely fine. Wet glue, I would probably avoid with those. So if you only use wet glue for your crafting, I would avoid them. Let's have a look at this. Oh. Oh. That's the glue pen. I can't really lift it off. It's dried already. I'm struggling to pull it off. I have managed to pull the colour off. So it does appear that these dry with colour. So I wouldn't use them unless you wanted a little bit of colour to it. But that's actually a really good glue pen. That one's come off a little bit easier. But it's actually ripping the paper before it's coming loose. So, yeah, I'm impressed with both that and the glue pen, actually. Like that. Nice. Hopefully that has answered your question and that helps you decide on if you're going to go for them. I'm definitely going to pick them up again. I'll probably pick up the other stack that's in a more like everyday colourway, because I don't use wet glue an awful lot. I certainly don't always use it for my backgrounds. So yeah, hopefully that's answered your question. If anybody has any other questions about either the products, or if there's a technique you'd like me to have a look at and show you guys, then please do let me know in the comments down below. I do read all of your comments. I try my best to get back to all of you. It may be that sometimes I just like heart your comment, because there's some days where I look at my comments list and there can be like 30-40 comments. And so I do try my best to reply, but sometimes I find it very difficult and a little bit time consuming. Like I've spent like an hour, 2 hours just replying to comments. So please do make those comments. I do read them, and if there's a question that I think would be better off answered with a video, because maybe it's easier to show you, or maybe something that I think others may have, I'm always happy to make a video on that. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you haven't already, please do hit the like, the subscribe and the notification bell so that you know each and every time that we post a video. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and bye for now.